Yeah, Phoenix Suns now 6-1 after beating Philadelphia last night. Yeah, I guess you can give the pushback. Well, Philadelphia didn't have Joel Embiid. Philadelphia never has Joel Embiid. And also, this is the NBA in 2024. Most of the time when you play a team, they don't have their best players. The Suns had theirs, although Devin Booker couldn't hit a shot last night, which is very uncharacteristic of him. But what they did have, Wolf, is Kevin Durant going off for 35 on 14 of 20 shooting. So, just 70% from the field for 35 points. No big deal.
Where do you want to begin with the Slim Reaper right now in the Phoenix Suns? That was awesome.
I just feels like, he had a good year last year.
But hit the post there.
You did.
Hear that?
It's almost like it's not the first time you've heard even flow.
It's not that I'm broadcasting to any rejoin basin.
No, never.
Just thought I'd nail it for emphasis.
Just wait till we play Alice in Chains later in the show.
Oh, no.
It feels like KD is just kind of free to do what he needs to do at the end of some of these games. This is not the first game this season that he's come up big at the end of a game. And, we can't paint it like last year the Suns won 24 games. That they were a playoff team. They won 49 games. KD and Booker both had great statistical seasons. But it just feels like he's in a position to really impact games even more so than he was last year.
Yeah, you know what I love, too, is just watching KD on the defensive end of the floor. Have you noticed his effort? Listen, he is a guy that can make a difference on the defensive end of the floor when he is engaged. There's no denying it. And watching him in the last half of the fourth quarter, you could see it. And we saw this against James Harden as well. Mm-hmm. We saw it against the Clippers. KD doing it and doing a great job one-on-one in regard to defending and being an on-ball defender. We've seen that from him, but man, he took over this game late. He did, scoring 10 points in the last 5 minutes and 15 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and 35 points again on 70% shooting. It's just it's nice to have somebody like that can step in. Here's Mike Budenholzer after the game talking about Durant's impact.
Tonight is an example of why he's such a great player. Makes tough shots. Can make something out of nothing. His length. He can just he can do so many things to put the ball in the basket. And the last one is great to get an offensive rebound. To get that extra possession, the matchups, they had their big on him away from the basket. And he was able to drive him and finish. So Kevin was great. I love that we were able to get an offensive rebound to create the extra possession. Special from Kevin.
Yeah, that was Grayson Allen he was talking about right there, the offensive rebound, I believe.
Yeah.
It's what Kevin Durant is all about right now. I just love the fact that the Phoenix Suns appear to be so much more durable than what we have seen in the past.
Last season was,
and I know it's early.
Yeah, but there's reasons why you would believe that things would be different this year. And we've gone through them before, but it's not like, hey, we kept the exact same team from last year, but we're 6-1 this year. Like, okay, but we kind of know what last year's team's ceiling was, right? What you've done now is you've moved things around and you've switched coaches and you have point guards and you're firing up more threes and you've brought in players too.
Yeah.
It logically makes sense that, okay, maybe this should be a little bit different. And to have them, I don't know, just last season, we got to a point in the year where it felt pretty predictable, where it was just kind of like, oh, hopefully Durant and KD are on. And Booker are on. And they typically are, and they won a good amount of games last year. But you kind of got a sense as the season went on last year, like, okay, there's a ceiling to this. It was just, when's the big three going to get healthy? Is the big three going to get healthy? Is it just going to be Durant and Booker? Whereas this year, it feels like there's a supporting cast that actually does some significant damage, too.
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot of really good stuff, too, in terms of some of the Suns insiders, Basinonians. We've been hearing guys like K-Ray, as a matter of fact, talking about the fact that these guys, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, these superstars want to be coached, and they want to be coached hard. And that to me tells me that, again, this is happening. And if you're telling me that is the case, I'm starting to see the evidence of that right now through the first 7 games. They are playing really, really well, and they're showing some toughness, some durability as well, and versatility, winning games in different ways. And you know how important and how big I am on that. But looking at this right now, I love what I'm seeing in Coach Bud. There was a point in the fourth quarter where he called a timeout. He was hot. He was fired up. The 9:09 mark of the fourth quarter right there, because they were getting sloppy, getting loose offensively with the ball. I thought it was a great timeout. Again, he's making an impact on these games. Not only, of course, his scheme, not only his culture, but also in-game.
Yeah.
Making some good in-game decisions. And I'll get to one momentarily. We're going to talk about it. I think coming up in the next hour.
More on that as the show unfolds?
More on that as the show unfolds. I don't want to talk about the point guard and the use of the point guard, but he made another in-game decision that was nails.
Here's Kevin Durant after the game talking about the coaching.
I think Coach been doing a great job of getting us all involved and finding out the best areas to put us all in. I think he's been doing a great job. I don't think it's anything throughout the season that's hindering me from getting shots up. Last game I was 7 for 16. I had 20 points going into the fourth quarter. And so I felt like I got a decent amount of shots up that game. The game before against the Clippers, we got it going from other guys. I think my spacing has helped the team score it in. So I don't feel like Coach is I think he's doing a great job actually of putting me in positions to help the team win.
It really does seem like this team has responded to Budenholzer really well. And yes, it's early, but this is when you would respond really well, right? You know what I mean? Like if everybody was kind of like, hey, what are we doing here? Yeah, I don't know. There's kind of some growing pains. Not totally sure where I'm supposed to be. We seem a little more jumbled up. I mean, even last year, Wolf, at this time, I don't remember what the Suns' record was in the first 7 games, but it's not even so much that. Like 7 games into last season, did you feel like, oh, here we go. Good luck stopping the Suns. They were 2-4 in their first 6. But it was not even so much that. It was just kind of like, did you ever really, with the season started last year, did you ever truly feel like, okay, look out for this team? Whereas this year, I think it's legit. I think like this is a contender. And you and I both said that before the season. It's a contender. They're a legitimate title contender. Are they the favorites? Boston's still in the league. But they're a legitimate title contender, and the first 7 games have only reinforced that for me.
No, I'm with you on that one. I honestly, I think we're seeing the signs of a different team, a sign that this team is going to be more durable and tougher. I think we're seeing that right now. Again, the sample size to me, I'm very uncomfortable saying that for the most part, but I believe these are the breadcrumbs, so to speak.
Man, they were 4-6 last year to start the season, and 14 and 15. And there you're 29 games into the season.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.